We all love our smart locks, right? Keyless entry, checking the door from your couch, it's amazing. But what happens when that amazing piece of tech just stops? Suddenly, it's not a smart lock anymore. It's a high-tech brick. And you're on the wrong side of it. So what do you do? Okay, so picture this. You're finally home after a long day. It's probably raining because of course it is. You pull out your phone, tap the app, nothing. You punch in your code on the keypad, still nothing. The battery's fine, but the lock is just dead. You are officially locked out. Who are you going to call?
All right, so before we can talk about the fix, we gotta understand what's actually broken. And let me tell you, when a smart lock fails, it's rarely a simple jam. We're talking about this messy, tangled web of hardware and software that a modern locksmith has to figure out.
And the list of what could be wrong is, well, it's long. Yeah, it could just be dead batteries, the easy fix. But it could also be your Wi-Fi throwing a fit and kicking the lock offline. Or maybe that software update you just installed had a nasty bug. It could even be plain old physical damage. So the first thing a locksmith has to do is play detective and figure out which of these is the culprit.
And this is where the job gets really interesting. We're now in the diagnostic phase. The modern locksmith isn't just a handyman with a lockpick set anymore. No, they're more like a tech detective. Their first move isn't to force the door, it's to interrogate the lock's digital brain.
And they have a whole process for this. It's super methodical. Step 1, they check the basics, the physical and electrical stuff. Is there even power getting to the right places? Then they move on to the brains of the operation, the software and firmware. They'll literally plug into the lock and hunt for errors in the code. And if that still doesn't give them an answer, they'll start looking at the wireless signals. Is this thing even talking to your network?
So what does this new toolkit even look like? Well, it's this awesome mix of old school and new tech. On one hand, you've got the trusty multimeter, right? Any electrician would know what to do with that. But sitting right next to it, you've got specialized diagnostic software and wireless analyzers. It's all about blending classic electronics know-how with modern IT troubleshooting.
Okay, so let's say the diagnosis is bad. The lock is totally, completely bricked. Now what? The locksmith's #1 job is to get you in your house. But, and this is a big but, they need to do it without destroying that very expensive piece of hardware on your door.
You know that classic image of a locksmith just drilling a lock to pieces? That is the absolute last-ditch break glass in case of emergency option. That's brute force. Today, it's all about finesse. It's about using these incredibly skillful, non-destructive methods to get the door open while keeping the lock intact. And believe me, it takes some serious skill and a real understanding of how these gadgets are put together.
And this is where the toolkit starts to look like something out of a spy movie. I'm serious, you've got electronic pick guns that use vibrations to mimic a key. There are these super thin metal shimming tools that can slide right in and bypass the latch. And for some of the big brands, locksmiths have special override tools that work like a secret, hidden mechanical key for when all the electronics have gone haywire. All right, success. You're in your house, you can finally kick your shoes off. But the locksmith's job is far from over. Now they have to switch hats, going from entry expert to repair technician, because the real goal here is to fix what went wrong in the first place, so you're not stuck outside again next week. And this is what I find so fascinating. Take a look at where these problems usually come from. A whopping 40% of the time, it's a software or firmware issue. The actual physical hardware, that's only about 35% of cases. Think about that. It means that most of the time, the problem isn't mechanical, it's digital. So to fix all those digital problems, they've got a whole other set of tools. We're talking about things like firmware flashers, which basically wipe the lock's brain and reinstall its software from scratch. They have keypad programmers to reset your codes, and even app emulators, so they can diagnose the problem without even needing your phone. And if the memory gets corrupted, they might even be able to use data recovery tools to save your user settings. But what about that 35% of the time when it is a hardware problem? Well, then the tools get way more hands-on. Now we're talking about real precision work. They're breaking out the soldering irons to fix a circuit board, using component testers to find one tiny fried resistor, and handling these minuscule parts with specialized tweezers. It's basically microsurgery, but for your front door. Okay, the lock is working again. Great. But a really good, top-tier locksmith, they're not packing up their tools just yet. There's one more crucial step, making sure your lock isn't just working, but that it's actually secure from future problems and from future attacks. And this is really why this matters so much.
A modern locksmith is basically your personal cybersecurity consultant for your front door. They'll use vulnerability scanners to find known weaknesses. They might even do what's called penetration testing, which is just a fancy way of saying they simulate a hack to see if they can break in. They're checking everything from the lock's firmware to your Wi-Fi connection to make sure the whole system is locked down tight.
So you see, the job has just completely changed. It's not about cutting keys anymore. The modern locksmith, the smart lock specialist, is this incredible hybrid. They're part master mechanic, part IT help desk, and part cybersecurity expert, all wrapped up in one person.
And all of this leaves us with one big question we should all be asking ourselves. When you think about all the convenience, but also all the software bugs, the connectivity issues, and the potential security holes, is that digital key on your phone really, truly more secure than that old-fashioned, simple piece of metal it replaced? It's definitely something to think about.